Another large cinema to open in central Chatham was the Ritz, which was opened in 1937 by Jack Buchanan, a popular film star of the day. It stood almost opposite the Regent. It was built by Union Cinemas. The exterior of the Ritz was almost identical to that of the Ritz Maidstone, designed by Robert Cromie, who also designed the Embassy Gillingham. The Ritz was illuminated by floodlights and two large signs advertising it. A large neon sky sign on the roof remained in place until the 1980s.
As I said, all the family, they all lived around the cinemas of the Ritz, the Regent, not the Gaumont, the Ritz and the Regent. And family members worked in those two cinemas as well.
Yeah, it was heartbreaking to see. I hadn't been there long, but I'd known it was there for years. My mum had said to me that she used to go there for Saturday morning pictures. You know, they used to get a bag of sweets from the little sweet shop by the way, and her friends, they all used to go in there for, I can't remember how many pennies it was, but yeah, they'd go in there and sit and watch Saturday morning pictures. And when we went in, when I was quite young when I went in, about 18, 19, well, come on, go, you've vaulted up now. And my mum said it's practically the same as it was, other than the chairs, that they hadn't changed much at all. And the stage was still really, really lovely.
The cinema was particularly luxurious, with furnishings carefully chosen to blend with the moulded ceilings, heavy piled carpets, and ornamental mirrors. It had 2,322 seats and a well-appointed restaurant that was open from 10 a.m. until midnight 6 days a week, and from 3:30 to 10:30 on Sundays. It remained a feature of the cinema until 1972.
My friend arranged that we go down to the Ritz for an all-night viewing of Elvis films, because we were both a bit softy with Elvis. But actually, the cinema was actually crammed solid. There wasn't a spare seat in there. But you couldn't pre-book like you can these days. You know, it was just queuing up the halfway up Chatham Hill to wait for the doors to open and hope you could get in and get a seat. It started about, must have been just after sort of 6 o'clock time, 7 o'clock time. And then it went on right through the night until 6 or 7 o'clock next morning.
After the building became a bingo hall, the restaurant was divided into offices and a boardroom for its new owners, Gala Bingo. The opening night of the cinema was a mix of films and light entertainment. A special round of applause was saved for the world-famous organist Harold Ramsey, who was Union's controller of entertainment and who gave a highly polished performance on the cinema's own 3-manual 8-unit Wurlitzer organ, which Ramsey himself had designed. The organ console was on a lift, and there was a second lift for a piano. Over the following years, various live shows took place. However, most of these one-night shows were financial disasters. Undaunted, ABC brought in new projection equipment which gave the people of Medway a chance to see Dr. Zhivago, 2001: A Space Odyssey, and a 2-part production of War and Peace in the best available technology of the time.
Yeah, because my aunts worked at the Ritz and the Regent, the other usherettes knew us anyway, because we were a large family, the cousins were a large family. We used to get let in for nothing. We was just let in. And another thing comes to mind, across the road from the Ritz, there used to be a row of shops, and there was a tiny, tiny sweet shop. And I used to go in there, and I had like a farthing, it was in those days, and I used to buy farthings worth of sweets. And used to then go over to the Ritz and sit and watch the film and eat the sweets.
But in October 1971, it was announced that the cinema would be used for bingo.
So I started there when it was Gala Bingo. I was only there a few months, but it was a lovely old building, really, really nice. You could see it was a cinema because although it had the tables and chairs for the bingo, it had the sections that goes up and up and up, and the stage was still there. It still had all the surroundings of a theatre, like a show. It looked like it was just one big room, and the upstairs still had the cinema seats. They'd never done anything with the seats. And when it got busy, they'd open up the top. So you'd still get people playing bingo up at the top in the old cinema seats.
And on the 20th of May 1972, the cinema closed. The organ, the final reminder of the building's past as a cinema, was removed in 1972 and taken to the Butter Market in Shrewsbury, where it remains to this day. In 1998, a huge blaze swept through the building, almost totally destroying it.
Yeah, so my last day, I'd been trained to, I can't remember the exact night and the work and stuff, so something tells me it was a normal night, and I went to lock the upstairs fire door. But you'd have to go all the way up to the top, past the seats at the top, and then you'd go all the way down and lock the door, which was out the front. So you'd lock it from the inside, and then you'd have to go all the way back up again, all the way back down. So I've been taught how to do it. It was easy. You just lock it with the chain. And I'd done that, and then finished, came home, and I thought, oh, I've got the night off. I've got tomorrow off. I can have a lay-in. So I took the dog out for their last toilet, enjoying a lay-in. The next morning, knock at the door. And I'm like, so I opened the door and my neighbour was like, I don't know if you've got work today, but your building's on fire. I was like, what? And we went into my living room, and do you know Chatham at all? So where the bingo is, I lived right by the train station, so you can see. So I went into my living room window, and on the skyline was just smoke, black smoke. I was like, oh my God. So I quickly got dressed and run down there. For the safety, you couldn't go past where the billboards are opposite. So we had to stay there, and there was all the staff there. There was even a manager there that hadn't been there for a long, long time, but he absolutely loved the place, and he was from this area. So he was there. He was absolutely distraught. He was so upset, and it was just burning, and it had just gone, absolutely gone. Yeah, no, it was the middle of the night. We'd all locked up. So what had happened? You all lock up and you all pack away, and then we all come out at the same time, and the manager locks the front door, and then we all go home. So no one was there. What I'd heard, the person that ran the bar, she was away for 3 weeks. So and you do a weekly order for your stock. So what she'd done, she'd ordered 3 weeks worth of stock to last until she got home. And then someone went to the manager and said, what do we do with stock? How do we order it? And he said, oh, just order what she ordered last week. So they ordered way too much. And I'd heard it was something to do with the post mix, you know, the gas that makes your soft drinks fizzy. It was something to do with that went wrong, and started off a fire. And someone had said they'd gone in there the morning after that, because they said, like, come get the fellas to come in and see if we can salvage anything once it was safe to do so. He said the iron girders at the top, it was like spaghetti all over the floor. They just melted in the heat. The gas bottles for the post mix and the beers, they'd shot right over the other side of the building. And they'd gone into the office at the back where the money safe was and all that lot. And they said that there was, in the safe, there was trays for the pound coins, the plastic ones, and melted all into the wooden trays, and it completely ruined all the pound coins and everything because of the heat of the building. So we were told by management, because managers were there, and they said, you've all still got jobs. And I'm thinking, last in, first out. I thought I'd lost my job.
It had to be demolished, and a new bingo hall was built on the site in September 1999.
We'd heard there was like structural issues. They wanted to save the front because it was supposed to be listed. So they put scaffolding on it and to save it and try and protect it and start redoing it all up. But then the whole thing, we'd heard it fell down and it hurt someone. I think it killed somebody. And then they'd realised there was a big crack right in the middle and they said it's not safe, the whole lot needs to come down.
The club closed a couple of years ago, and recently plans have been presented to build flats on the site.